Hey everybody, it's your girl Carmel Jean-Francois coming to you out of the New York City area. So today I am especially honored because I am joined by someone that I'm about to introduce you to in a few seconds. You see her right there. Isn't she gorgeous? Anyway, so in a few weeks, ladies and gentlemen, I am bringing to you the Menopause Mystique. What is the Menopause Mystique? I'm putting together a panel of 5 speakers, all speaking on the topic of menopause. And here is Miss Jude Michel, and she is a metaphysical healer. She's here to tell you all about what she does. But one of the things that we want to tap into is her ability or her studies in the arena of being a menopause doula. What is a menopause doula? I know. It sounds very intriguing. But did you know only 20% of OBGYNs in the US have any type of formal training in menopause while they're studying? And that's astounding. So because they don't know, because medical doctors don't really know much about menopause, let's face it, menopause is interesting and it's different for everyone. So it's a hard field to study. But meanwhile, what is a woman to do when she's navigating through these important years and very transformational years in her life without feeling like she's gone completely crazy? Well, that's when Miss Jude Michel comes into the picture as our menopause doula. So without further ado, I'm going to introduce this fantastic woman as she explains to us exactly what that is and what her work entails and why we need her. So Jude, welcome. Thank you for being here today.
Oh my gosh, thank you for inviting me. I'm so honored. How are you?
I'm well. Thank you
Good.
for thank you for agreeing to be part of the forum that we're putting together. May 19th, everybody, put it on your calendar. May 19th at 2 p.m. That's a Sunday. We are having a forum. Jude is one of the panelists. And Jude, I've spoken enough. I want to give you the floor, give you the mic, and let everybody know what it is that you do and why.
Well, thank you, Carmel. I so appreciate you bringing me on. And thank you for inviting me today and also being part of this amazing panel that you're putting together. I am so excited to be part of this. You're going to have great people there. And I'm so glad that I'm going to be part of that great people ship, if you will, if you want to call it that, right? Great people ship. Right?
We call it that.
We could call it that, right? Right. So yeah, I'd love to talk to all of you about what it is I do as a menopause doula. But I want to go back just a little and do a quick introduction, right? In terms of menopause. Carmel, you quoted some great stats, but I want to build on that a little. And I want to like coin the phrase menopausal medicine, right? Menopausal medicine is something that is an outstanding concern in healthcare systems throughout the world. And even in developing nations or developed nations like the US. This is not something that they talk about. Most menopausal women tend to speak to medical professionals in various ways. So whenever they come up with symptoms, they'll go to a particular specialist because the symptoms of menopause is more like polymorphic. Big word. What does that mean? It means that it shows up in various forms, characteristics, and styles, right? So for example, a woman who's going through menopause or premenopausal, she might get heart palpitations. That's just one example. So what would she do? She would go to a cardiologist, right? She'll go to cardiologist as opposed to going to her OBGYN and finding out the root cause is coming more from her reproductive tract as opposed to her heart. So the cardiologist would probably not know. But anyway, that's my little intro, right? So why is this happening? It's because menopause is shrouded in mystery, right? So we want to demystify it, right? We want to help women, empower women with more information. We're hoping as menopause doulas to be more on the advocacy side so that gynecologists and quite frankly, geriatrics would see this as a natural progression of life as a woman becomes mature and embark on her golden years, right? So what does that mean? So now I told you a little bit about what menopause is in terms of its cycle. So what does a menopause doula do? Let's talk about a doula. And Carmel, please feel free to jump in wherever you want.
Will do.
Okay, thanks. A doula is a trained professional who helps and provides women through emotional and physical aspects of the stages of their lives, right? When we hear of a doula, most people usually think of a birth doula, right? And when you think of a birth doula, those are stages, right? Pre-birth, during birth, after birth. And it's the same thing with the menopause doula.
I've heard of the death doulas as well.
Sorry?
I've heard of death doulas as well.
Yes, there are death doulas out there. There are birth doulas. I'm sorry?
I said, or end of life. I think the term, I can't remember what the term is, but I remember meeting somebody who helped at that time, that stage in life, because some people know when it's about to happen. And so that was what her thing was. I've heard of that. Just a little sidebar.
Yeah, that's great. So that this then term is very familiar to people, and whatever adverb you put in front of it will tell you, right? I know, right? You put in front of it would tell you what type of doula they are, whether it's an end of life doula, a birth doula. In my case, it's a menopause doula. So I help women transition, right? During their whole reproductive cycle before, which is, with menopause, we know it's 3 stages. So it's pre, during, and post. So as a menopause doula, that's what I help women with. So what I do is offer continuous support, knowledge and continuous support to women in all 3 stages. And I'm also an advocate. I'm an advocate for women's natural process of life. So I help people navigate through this period and optimize their long-term health goals. And this is why, Carmel, this is like a great partnership, what we're talking about, like this menopause Mystique. I know you are entrenched with helping women over 40 with their health and health needs and goals for them to be healthy. And so this is what I do. I help women in that same aspect, not only physically, but also emotionally. And I give them the information that they need so that, one, they can speak to their health professionals. So I am a complement to whatever health practitioner that they go to, and I give them the language, the knowledge to empower them so that when they walk into a doctor's office, they can be like, these things are going on. How does that kind of line up with where I am medically? So that's what I do. I hope I gave a nice comprehensive response to that, but please plug holes into it, because the more holes you plug into it, the better it is for folks to understand what a menopause doula does.
So I do have a question, right? Because you said that you provide support and knowledge. So how is the support that you provide different from me saying, hey girl, I got some hot flashes today, like talk me through that, or me saying, hey Dr. Google, why am I experiencing this? I'm 47 years old. And I kind of know the answer. I want to let you answer, but I know that you're into metaphysical healing as well. And is that incorporated in the whole support and healing process?
Yes, that's my approach. The birth of Chayou Healing Arts, that's my own practice, where I've taken the information that I've gathered, the professional information that I gathered as a menopause doula, the lifelong studies that I've had as a metaphysical practitioner, and I couple that with various modalities. One of modalities that I use is Reiki. Another modality that I use is meditation. And Reiki is the movement of energy, centering of folks' energy and energy centers to help them maximize their health. You said, what would someone speak to their doctor about? Like if they're getting a hot flash, that's what people call it, but it's actually a hot flush, right? Like what's causing this? Because most people would be like, oh, it's just I'm hot, or I have on too many blankets at night because I'm going through hot sweats, or something that I ate. And the doctor might say, yeah, that's true if you walk in with that. But if you tell the doctor, well, I'm in my 30s and I'm experiencing this, what does that mean? And it's because you're going through perimenopausal, the stage before menopause.
Yes, yes. So as I understand it, perimenopause can start as early as 35, and that's talking naturally. That's talking not necessarily medical menopause, where for some reason, medicine has intervened, or maybe surgical, where you had your uterus removed, or whatever it is, right? So it can start as early as 35. And the way I understand it, the day that the doctor says, okay, it's been a year since your last menstrual period, you are now menopause. So I understand it as menopause being that one day, and everything after that day is post-menopause. But symptoms can last well for like 7 to 10 years after that day you're declared menopause.
Right.
And right. So we spend a third of our lives, as I understand it, as women in that postmenopausal state. Our hormones still fluctuating, and we're still going through a lot of the things that perimenopause kind of brought with it. And so that's why it's so important to have that type of support, that type of knowledge, and like you said, the language to be able to iterate to our medical professionals so that they can help us the best way possible.
Right.
Is there anything that I'm leaving out?
Right. I'd like to add to it, and maybe it did fill it in, that medical induced menopause is something that you medically had to take care of, which caused the offset of menopause. But naturally, a woman does definitely start as early as 35, right? You can start as early as 35. And the subtle changes are so obscure that you wouldn't even put 2 and 2 together. And a lot of times doctors don't put 2 and 2 together. So this is why the knowledge of that information is so important, and for women to really be in tune with their bodies, right? And not allow just the medical professionals to kind of diagnose, but you help them to diagnose you, right?
Yeah.
By giving them that information. Yeah.
By giving them that information. Nurse practitioner extraordinaire says, such an amazing topic, ladies. Thank you. And I'm going to let the cat out of the bag right now, because I can't hold it in. Yeah. Nurse practitioner is also one of our panelists for the Menopause Mystique, and I'm so happy to have her on. And you're going to be hearing from her next week, and as we talk a little bit about what she'll be bringing to the forum. So I'm excited about that. So Jude, thank you for joining us, nurse practitioner extraordinaire. I appreciate you being here and commenting. So Jude, you said like some of these symptoms are like we wouldn't put 2 and 2 together, and that's the thing, right? I feel like most people are very much aware with hot flushes, most people, and maybe a headache here and there, fogginess, right? Those are the things that, and maybe even that, oh, I'm gaining weight around my belly. Why am I not losing as much weight as I used to do this when I was younger? And I used to lose the weight right away, and now it's sticking. So these are a few of the symptoms that's very common among perimenopause and menopausal women. But pretty much everything that happens after that is exemplified, like really kind of like a huge light is shown on those symptoms because of the different hormonal changes that's going on inside. And that's another reason why people won't put 2 and 2 together, simply because I had migraines before. I have them worse now. So it's just, I'm getting older. Everybody kind of chucks everything off to I'm getting older, where that really is part of the equation. But it really has to do with the individual's the individual body kind of going through what it needs to go through hormonally, because we're all so different.
So I'd like to add, right? So one of the symptoms that perimenopausal women should really look for is how the changes in their cycle,
Okay.
right? Whether the cycle is whatever the change is. You know, if you were regular and all, and your cycle only lasts like 3 days, and now your cycle is heavy, or your cycle is light, and now you're having more cramps than usual. That is one of the symptoms that the body's trying to regulate the estrogen in your system. And you know, most women will be like, oh, I had a hard month or whatever. And some women, if their cycle comes late, first thing they think of, oh, maybe I'm pregnant. But they don't realize that that is a subtle change, that you are perimenopausal and you're moving towards menopause.
Our periods tell us so much, and I find it disheartening that women are like, "Oh, my period. Oh, let me go on the pill." I mean, everybody's choice to go on the pill. Everybody's choice to do what they want to do is their own. However, I've come across many women. I was one of those women. I did not want to see my period. I didn't want to know what it was doing. Couldn't care less. I didn't take. But our periods for young women as well as older women alike tells us so much about our health.
Right.
So we can actually have the forum ourselves and just keep talking. But
I feel there's so much to talk about. There's so much to engage in when it comes down to this aspect of one's life. I mean, if you think about it, how many women do we have in the world? A lot, right? I wish I had that number, but when we have our forum, I'll definitely have that number for you. And every woman in the world is going to go through menopause, but yet it is so shrouded with mystery. So we're here to debunk the mystery. We're here to give you information so that you can empower yourself. We're here to give you support on all aspects of menopause. Carmel talks about nutrition. Our doctor, I'm not going to say her name because she's talks to us about various aspects of
treatment of treatment and things like that. So so
things like that, right? We're gonna have we're also gonna have
I can spit it out. Yeah, because I know you're excited, right? Because
I'm so excited. I'm thinking of everyone, right?
So just like Jude was saying, we have the nurse practitioner. She's our medical professional that's going to be right here to talk about all things medical, and then some. Trust me, and then some. We have Jude Michel, our metaphysical healer, and she is our menopause doula. We have Debbie Maisha, excuse me. She is our sensual alchemist. And she will be guiding us through what sensuality looks like and our level of confidence and everything we bring to the table as a woman. And especially these years can be so liberating, especially in the bedroom. It is not the end of our sexual life. In fact, it's a whole new chapter.
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to that. And we have Ren Jones. He is our fitness trainer, so very knowledgeable on the topic. He's amazing. And we also have joining us a woman who is perimenopause, soon to be in her menopause, soon to be diagnosed menopause. She is a whole food, plant-based. She leads a whole food, plant-based lifestyle, and she's going to be telling us about nutrition and menopause. So we have a whole lineup of very, very nuanced things that we want to talk about. We're not just talking about the fitness, and we're not just talking about the nutrition, and we're not just talking about hormone therapy replacement. We are talking about it all. We are encompassing everything that it means to be a woman at this stage of life. So I'm really excited about it. And the nurse practitioner says, oh my God, yes. Our periods tell us so much to talk about and learn. Ooh, the conversation will never end. And this might just be the beginning of something that we do on a regular basis, this menopause mystique conversation that we're going to have. So Jude, I want to say thank you again for joining me as we kind of like whet everybody's curiosity and let them know that this is coming. May 19th, Sunday, May 19th at 2 p.m., we are having the Menopause Mystique Forum. We're going to be 5 people in the menopause space talking about what life is peri, menopause, and post. So with that said, thank you again, Jude. Any last words?
Well, thank you, Carmel, for having me on. I'm looking forward to being part of this holistic approach in speaking about women in this stage of life. I am so excited because it's going to be so comprehensive. And I know this is going to morph into other conversations. And I'm ready for it. I'm here to support women that want to know more about it and want to find alternatives and also empower themselves. So thank you for having me on, and I can't wait to see everyone on the 19th.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful. All right, thanks again for being here. Nurse practitioner, thank you for being here. We'll see you real soon. Ciao, ciao, everybody.
Ciao for now. Bye-bye.
Bye.